Hello everyone, DM Zach here. So today we're going to be talking about 3D printing miniatures for your D&D games. I'm no professional 3D printer, but I do have a resin printer that I use quite frequently, so I've learned a few things along the way. If you're thinking about getting into 3D printing or you're looking for some tips, this might be the video for you. So if you think getting a 3D printer, it's as simple as plug and print, I suppose you could say. It's a little bit more complicated than that. When your printer arrives, so I have an Anycubic Photon, which they're only going for about $300 right now. So once that arrives, the first thing you need to do is level the printer, otherwise you're just going to have all sorts of problems. There are heaps of videos on YouTube. I'm not going to go through that sort of stuff. So once you've leveled your machine and you're ready to go, you're going to want to get a program. I use the To-Do Box. It's a pretty good program for all my 3D printing. Once you've got that, find the miniatures you want to print. So let's say we want to print this goblin here. Let's just get him on standing up for a second. Alright, he's pretty cool. But you can't just plop him in there, hit slice, save, print, because that's just going to have all sorts of issues. It needs supports. I'll go through my support settings, which mostly I've gotten from a really good YouTuber called 3D Printing Pro. So if you're looking for more technical things, go check out his page. He's got some really good tips. I'm just going to show you the settings I use. I'm not going to explain what everything does, but if you're looking for some settings, you can just pause the screen. So light settings for top. Again, you just want to pause it. I'll try to go through this pretty quick. So that's the top. Middle settings, bottom settings, and medium top settings, middle settings, bottom settings, and the heavy top. And these are all for the supports. Middle, bottom. So once you've got all that ready, I don't know why that's showing up there, that's kind of weird. Then you want to, so you can go in and add all the supports yourself, which 3D Printing Pro shows you all that stuff, how to do it, and it's really good. Like, you can end up with amazing prints. But the one thing with that, it takes a really long time, and I don't always have all that time. So you can do auto supports, which will pop up something like that, and then you can go in and add your own supports. So red generally means it needs supports. So if I was to add supports to this, I would come in and I would add a whole bunch to the base for a start, and maybe add some under here and there. But this process can take like half an hour to an hour, depending on the miniature. And like I said, I don't always have that kind of time. So what I do, now this model is from a guy, MZ4250 on Patreon, and I'm a patron of his. So what he does now with all these miniatures is provide pre-supported miniatures. So we'll bring in the pre-supported version. And there you go, the same bloke, same goblin, and all the supports are already done. So this is as close as you're going to get to a plug and print. Look, they're not always going to work. 9 out of 10 times I get a perfect print, but sometimes it just doesn't want to work, whether that's my settings, my printer, or maybe the supports aren't actually quite right. Then I'll go back in, add the supports myself. But with this, it's saved a lot of time. So then I can go, all right, we're going to print 3 of these. And he's also got a different version of a goblin. One with a sword. So I could go in and print all 5 of these. in one go. And the thing with a resin printer, whether I printed 1 or 5, it's still going to take the same amount of time. So once you're happy with your supports, whether you're using pre-supported, which, like I said, most of the time I have no issues, and it's saved me a ton of time. So then once you're all ready, you hit slice. Alright. So that's going to take 5 hours and 50 minutes. So in 5 hours and 50 minutes, you're going to have 5 brand new goblins, which is awesome. I'm not actually going to save this or print these. I'll show you some things that I've been printing lately, but one thing I didn't show was my actual settings. So these are the settings that I used. I've recently started using these and they've been working really well. Though I normally print off my laptop, this is on my computer. And on my laptop, for some reason, this transition layer count and transition type isn't there. And probably because I haven't updated it. So I don't know what these would be. But all the others are the settings that I use. So yeah, I'll show you some miniatures that I have been printing lately. I've got a lot of painting ahead of me, but anyway, these are fresh off the printing board. So they need a little bit of cleaning. Most of these miniatures I haven't gone in and given them a really good clean. But the wings on those, I reckon they look really good. I was really impressed with how well the wings came out on these harpies. And they've got these little holes. It's kind of a strange spot for it, as you can see there. But that is actually for the base, which I'm going to print separately with this clear resin. So it'll come out clear, just like a lot of the miniatures that WizKids do with their aerial creatures. I've only actually finished one, and I could do a better paint job, but I'm more of a speed paint kind of guy. Get it done as quick as possible. But I'm pretty happy with that. I've got the Dwerger here. Just need to go in and fix some of the little bits that need nicking off, but the detail's really good. And if you don't know, Dwerger have the ability to enlarge themselves. So I thought, why not make some bigger versions, which is easy enough to do. You just have to blow it up a little bit in Chidu Box, and I think that came out really well. Yeah, so if you have any questions or queries about 3D printing, shoot a comment down below and I'll do my best to answer. Though, like I said, I'm no professional. I've just been doing it as a little bit of a hobby to help with my D&D games. But, you know, I've learned a few things along the way. But the 3D Printing Pro, his channel, really helped with settings and supports and stuff like that. So if you're thinking about getting a resin printer, the Anycubic Photon, it's a good start. And they're pretty affordable, like about $300 Australian, I'm pretty sure. If you're thinking about getting a PLA printer, look, they're good for terrain or props, you know, larger pieces. But if you're trying to print off this goblin, it's going to struggle. And the supports on those, it's really hard to get small miniatures out of a PLA printer. You might as well just jump into a resin, especially with the prices today. So I hope this was a helpful video. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, happy rolling.